Greetings, my little ghouls and gourmet ghoulettes. Tonight I'm serving up a piping hot tale of family, flavor, and a recipe so wicked it's to die for. Literally, our story's simmering with spice, secrets, and a sauce so sinister it'll have you stewing in your own fears. It's a recipe for disaster, folks. And the main ingredient is Grandma's cursed chili. So tuck in your napkins, hold on to your guts, because this chili's got soul. Several, in fact. This ain't your grandma cooking, or maybe it is. Grandma's secret recipe!
Clyde Downs was not what you'd call culinarily gifted. He was just a guy with a food truck and dreams bigger than his Yelp rating. His business, struggling. His hope, thin. His food truck, Clyde's Eats, parked near construction zones and college dorms, rarely had a line unless the nearby taco stand got shut down again. Even then, customers described his chili as edible with effort. Bills piled up. Customers dropped off. His last viral moment was a failed nacho cheese fountain. Then his mother passed and left him his grandma's old trunk. Inside the trunk, old cookbooks, trinkets, some dusty photos, a lock of hair, in a bag labeled insurance, and one mysterious mason jar sealed with red wax and a brittle twine bow. Etched into the jar was a warning from his mother for when you're truly desperate. Inside, a folded parchment in faint, curling cursive. Chili for the end times. Bone marrow, boil first. Dried tongue, summoning salt, do not skip. Serve hot, do not freeze. Clyde laughed. It was so grandma. Always superstitious, always spicing her food like she was feeding ghosts. He left the jar on the shelf for days, until rent came due again. Desperate times called for desperate flavors. The night Clyde made the chili, the air in the food truck changed. Not just from the heat, not just from the bone broth that hissed and bubbled like it had opinions. The air thickened, heavy with something unspoken. He'd followed the recipe to the letter, even shaved a sliver of beef marrow and roasted it until it cracked. The summoning salt, oddly enough, was sitting in Grandma's spice tin, buried beneath cumin and a rusty nail. Clyde added a little extra. He liked things bold. He ladled the finished product into a paper bowl and tasted it. The flavor is unreal. Smoky, rich, sweet, and burning all at once. Almost alive. It was perfect. No, more than perfect. It didn't taste like food, it tasted like memory. Clyde didn't know the broth was a little more than just cow bone. At first, it was just a slow trickle of curious customers, but soon the word spread. Within hours, the smell was drawing people in like moths to a bug zapper. A group of teens stopped mid-skate to try it. A woman in a business suit ordered 2 bowls and offered Clyde her business card. She ran a local food review channel. She took one bite, then stared off into space and muttered, "My grandma used to make chili. She died in that kitchen." Then she smiled. "You brought her back." By the weekend, Clyde's truck was surrounded. A pop-up reporter from Street Bites filmed a segment. It went viral. "Chili that changes lives," the headline read. Clyde was offered a booth at the Bonetown Brewfest, a mid-sized beer and foodie festival with real money behind it. He accepted. He even ordered a massive 60-gallon kettle off of Craigslist. That night, he dreamed of Grandma. She was rocking in her chair, stirring a pot that steamed and screamed. "More marrow next time, sugar. You want to feed 'em proper." Then things got weird. Kevin, Clyde's first chili customer, sent him a video of something he coughed up. It wasn't phlegm. It wasn't food. It was a chunk of black hair with a tooth inside. Human. And engraved faintly along the root were 2 letters. MJ. Martha Jean, Clyde's grandma. Another customer claimed she couldn't stop dreaming of an old woman sewing something into her stomach while humming lullabies in reverse.
Mountain Midge, I found the trail of the mountain Midge, but ne'er a trace of baby.
Someone else posted that after eating the chili, they saw their dead uncle. and he was mad. Clyde shrugged it off. Viral fame always came with a few weirdos, right? But deep down, the chili didn't feel like it was his anymore. It guided his hands. When he stirred, the pot stirred back. Panicked, Clyde drove to see his Aunt Jolene, Grandma's only surviving daughter. She met him at the door holding a shotgun and a jar of vinegar. She didn't mince words. "What did you do, Clyde?" she asked, her voice shaking. "You opened the jar, didn't you?" He nodded. Jolene invited him in and told him what he never knew. Grandma was no ordinary cook. She was a root worker, a conjure woman, the kind that simmered hexes and healing in the same pot. A woman who wielded magic in the mountains. The chili recipe, it wasn't just food, it was a vessel. Grandma had chopped, dried, and bottled parts of herself into that chili. Bones, blood, tongue, and the salt, a binding agent. She knew she was dying. She wanted a way back. Said food was the only thing folks always invite inside. Clyde asked what would happen if people kept eating it. Every bite pulls her back a little more, binding her spirit to the living, one spoonful at a time. She'll finish cooking, then she'll need a body, something warm, something fresh. You're the last piece, Clyde. You're not just eating, you're feeding her. Clyde arrived at the Bonetown Brewfest with shaking hands and fake smiles. He considered pulling out, but thousands were watching. And deep inside, something was hungry. Not to mention his livelihood depended on it. The cauldron bubbled violently. He hadn't even lit the flame yet. It stirred itself. The chili began to form. Shapes, long tendrils, a lip, an eye. A birthmark floated across the surface. It was Grandma's. He started serving anyway. People devoured it. Then came the cracking. One man bent backward with a wet crunch. Another fell to their knees as hands pushed from inside their abdomen. A woman clawed at her skin like something trying to get out. Customers screamed. Some began whispering lullabies in Grandma's voice. And above it all, steam rose in the shape of her face. With each bowl served, Grandma's essence thickens. She was reconstituting herself, customer by customer. "Almost there, sugar. Just need a little more meat." Grandma was coming back. Clyde fled, but the revived Grandma didn't chase with feet. She chased through those who had eaten her. Her voice came from their mouths. He bolted back from the swarms of people, heart pounding. He found his truck, lit a match, and watched the chili rise one more time. The truck groaned. The chili called to him from inside. Through the glass, he saw her apron laid out across the stovetop, folded neatly, still steaming. "You invited me in, baby." Her voice crooned from nowhere and everywhere. "You opened the jar. Now finish the feast." "I'm sorry, Grandma." Then he tossed the match. The truck went up like dry kindling. He watched it burn, but in the smoke, her shape lingered, watching, smiling, holding her apron. "Family don't burn, baby. We simmer." The flames swallowed it all. Weeks later, Clyde was in hiding. No food truck, no interviews, no chili. But online, people had cloned the recipe. Screen cap videos, blog posts. One guy tried it with lamb, another with tofu, and they all said the same thing. Tastes like coming home. Clyde's phone buzzed constantly with anonymous emails. Subject lines read things like, "Thanks for the meal. She's here. We're full for now." And some nights, when Clyde lies still, he swears he hears her, rocking somewhere just behind the wall, patiently waiting for someone to reheat the pot.
Well, my tasty terrors, that story had a bite, didn't it? Sounds like Clyde's late granny had one hell of a slow-cooking soul. Maybe next time you inherit a mysterious family recipe, read the fine print before serving up the dead. Or better yet, just order a pizza. After all, some flavors linger longer than heartburn. And some grandmas, they just don't know when to quit cooking. Thanks for joining this devilish little dinner party. Until next time, keep those ghoulish appetites in check. Bon appetit!